have a situation with our son who has a visual impairment that is not really well understood. And we were lucky enough to travel to a place where it was understood over the summer and gather evaluations and data. And now we're in a position where we're back in our state of Arizona, and we're trying to communicate to, to the school and to the people in the state that are responsible for helping us with his care. And in this case, we kind of are the experts, and it's really, really, really tough. And these really these tools that you're putting in our hands and discussing with us are so useful. I've picked up on so many things already. Just to, we have one person in particular that is, all she wants to do is tell me about how she has 30 years of experience. But this is new stuff that we just learned, that they're still learning in Massachusetts about, his vision. And so we're constantly trying, and I had been trying to think of my strategies. I've tried many different ones with this lady and fallen flat on my face each time. So I think I've got a new plan here.
Oh, good, Kim. I'm glad to hear it, because here's the thing. I think you've gotten to a place where you understand the difference between listening and waiting to talk. Which one do most of us do? Do we listen or do we wait to talk? Most of us operate at level 1 and 2 of listening. That's intermittent listening, where we're listening long enough to get the gist of the other side, and then we refocus on our own internal monologue. And we intentionally take 50% of our brain offline and out of the conversation, because that little voice inside of us is vying for a chance at the podium. Or rebuttal listening, where we're listening long enough till they say something we know we have an answer for, we know we can argue it, and now we're just waiting for them to shut up so we can jump into the conversation and tell them how brilliant we are.
So true.
And that's not, we do it because that's what we've been trained to do. We do it because it's easy. Listening at the level that I'm talking about, that I was talking about with Linda and Viola, that takes work. That takes effort. You'll find yourself, even after a 5-minute conversation where you're using these skills, you're going to be wiped out, because you have to focus in to understand what their life's narrative is, what symbolism they're giving their statements, what the road looks like for them. It's hard to do, which is why most of the population can't operate at that level 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Knowing that, you guys have to understand the importance of being able to dial it up when it's necessary. Dial it up when it's necessary. And in your case, you've been dealing with this one particular person with 30 years of experience over and over again. He or she has already given you a treasure trove of information about what's important to them. And I bet you in all of your conversations, you haven't articulated those back to them. And the minute that you do, she'll stop throwing that 30 years of experience in your face, because again, the reciprocity of tactical empathy. You do it first. Now you've obligated them subconsciously. You've obligated them to give it back to you when you ultimately get to your ask. When you ultimately say, hey, I want this surgery, or hey, I don't want this surgery, or hey, here's the new stuff that we just learned about how to care for my child with this impairment. Mm-hmm. Now, because you did it first, you bring those negative emotions down, you re-engage the prefrontal cortex, and they're obligated. She gave it to me first. Now I have to give it back. So just keep that in mind the next time you deal with her or him, and watch the difference in how she interacts with you during that interaction and then going forward. Because remember, using the skills the way I've outlined them here on this call makes them feel good. Yeah. They're getting high, dopamine and oxytocin. They don't know why, but they just know all of a sudden, I like talking to Kim a little bit better. And so you're the outlier, Kim. They're not getting that anywhere else in their circle. So the next time that you call, the next time you send an email, they're responding quickly because they want another hit of that dopamine. They want another hit of that oxytocin, and you've created a collaborative ally going forward.